Shameless Squad. So this video I titled How to Be Your Best Friend and Stop Seeking Love in All the Wrong Places, especially in friendships only here. So if you're new, what up? I'm Shamelessly Sexy Jackie. I'm a certified sex therapist turned sexual confidence coach and psychic medium. And I make a lot of different videos on my channel here. So definitely smash subscribe, turn the notification bells on because I think you're really going to like some videos that I have in store in the future too, boo. But the shameless secret literally about this video, y'all, is so many people seek love in really toxic places, people, or even friendships here specifically, and like even in their besties or their BFF or whatever, when maybe they haven't been the most healthy person in their own life, like that person's life, and they're calling them bestie and shit, you know? Okay, so anywho, boo, I had this psychic channeled message when it came to Venus retrograde. It's under the lives tab videos, 2 hours. I share the full thing with you, and I do a ton of reading of the energies and what's to come. Watch that video as much as you need when it comes to the Venus retrograde here. It's March 1st to April 12th here, and I'm breaking up this psychic channeled message to really also not only share the spiritual side of it, to talk about this again, but to talk about my psychological side of it, the background, the training, relationship, sex, love, intimacy, pleasure. That is my bread and my butter, babies. When it comes to psychology, we are a nerd up in here, okay? So I just felt like, I've been guided by my spiritual team to be like, share these messages again, but also talk about your lived, learned, and heard experience. Learned education, lived life, heard relationships, me doing the damn work as a therapist, all the damn things, and just what I have seen in this world, okay? So I'm going to give you lots of resources, hopefully, as well as inspiration and motivation when it really comes to this here. The other videos I did where all of these like different types of relationships, stop seeking love in all the wrong places, was the first one of the full psychic download, and then I did one about parents, and then I did one about relationships and people being single, and then I did one about family members and how we try to seek love in the wrong places, maybe in toxic ways and shameful ways and even settings that might be unhealthy for us. And so this one is going to be all about friendship. So I hope that you enjoyed this. Venus is the planet of love, beauty, romance, intimacy, pleasure, and self-worth and self-esteem. And so I feel like it's such an underrated placement in particular of a birth chart to really think about the relationship of thyself and one's self-esteem specifically. And that's why I was really called to share this during retrograde and do these videos for all of you. So I really hope you like them. So if you do, definitely smash the like button, send it to a friend here specifically overall who may need to hear these messages too, and watch these as much as you need on my channel to go back to just re-listen, to learn some sort of wisdom, to integrate these things that I'm sharing with you. It's completely free, and definitely drop what resonates in the comments below, because I'd be very curious about, how this might show up for you. So without further ado, let's talk about the part on relationships. I feel I might sneeze. Okay, baby, we're good. So stop seeking love in all the wrong places. People seek friendships for companionship. Okay, hold on. Yes, okay, so people seek friendships for companionship, care, love, compassion, common interest, and social connection. You find out who your real friends are when things change. These changes include divorce, a move, a celebration, a job loss, having mental health struggles, being arrested, dealing with child custody battles, having a baby, building a business, creating something new, buying a house, getting a pet, death, grief and loss, sickness, becoming well known or famous, stepping into your destiny, near-death experiences, and the list goes on and on. Fake friends don't show up for the roller coaster of life, while real friends get on that roller coaster with you, even if they are afraid of heights, and will sit right beside you for the ups and downs in life ahead. Stop seeking, being, and committing to fake friendships who wouldn't get on that roller coaster with you. They don't care about their actions and their actions and inactions show it. Ask your friends if they'd be your friend through all these situations, scenarios, and how they answer. Will they be your ride or die, or does this friendship need to die? The choice is yours. Real friendships show up while fake friendships steer away. Real friendships are active while fake friendships are inactive. Real friendships are two-way streets. Fake friendships are one-way streets. Real friendships treat you like a VIP restaurant, making sure they plan ahead, get the reservation, and are on, your calendar. Fake friendships treat you like a drive-through, thinking they can always come back to you whenever they want to. People hold on to fake friendships for too long out of obligation that they grew up with that person, group of people, or have known them for years. You can know a person for years and not like the person they're changing into, who they've become, or not know them because they've checked in on you or they haven't showed up for you. You don't need to hold on to friendships out of obligation anymore. It's safe to cut the cord. Wish them well, send them the best energetically, and it's time for new people to come into your life, baby. You can rebirth yourself. So why can't you rebirth your relationships? You can. Before you birth new relationships, ask what it is you require, boundaries, and desire, wants, in the relationship with yourself. You are the longest relationship you have in life, so make sure it's the best one. Be your best friend. Take yourself out on dates and pour back into you. Enjoy your time between any transitions of relationships and flow. Don't force. I love you. Stay shameless. So let's talk about this, Shameless Squad. When it comes to psychology and different points in life with development specifically, let's just take it at that lens here overall. A lot of people go through different changes in life cycle transitions, right? If you were to graduate high school and then be that person that goes on to college, you're probably going to potentially maybe not see your high school friends as much anymore. And a lot of people will say, like, I'm not even friends with high school friends. I didn't even have high school friends anymore. Or my high school friends changed a lot here. I don't talk to them anymore, right? And so then if you are that person that stays back in your hometown or whatever, high school or whatever, and you just want to work and get a job and whatever, you might naturally also just seek friendships elsewhere. And that's normal. Then people who might, be in the same career might be around the same people, or people might come in and out. But then you might seek friendships in people that are maybe fake with their energies here, okay? Meaning like, oh, well, you're never like leaving the hometown, so I can come see you whenever you want, right? Or, oh, like, well, I'll be up at school, but I'll come back and see you. This happens in a lot of college dynamics specifically here overall. Even growing up, if a child has to move like from a different state to another state to another state, right? And they're like, I want to keep in touch with you and that friend. And if it was back in the day where there was no social media or like cell phones weren't a thing, 90s baby, if you know, you know. And people would be like, I want to write to you though. Let's write letters. Let's do the things like as friends or whatever. And maybe that doesn't actually work. And that could be a fake friendship dynamic, or even relationships, any adult relationships too. If you were leaving your adult relationships from one state to another in a move, and you don't have these things like social media technology platforms here, there weren't cell phones then that's something where you might just be in a fake friendship, but maybe it was just time was up. They were there for a reason or a season, and that's the reason here spiritually, right? But sometimes it's really hard to rationally see that and rationalize that, okay? And some people might rationalize it as a defense mechanism. Like, I wish I could have written, but I've been so busy. Don't ever buy that fucking excuse when it comes to relationships. Like, literally, y'all, I was talking to a family member about this, and my mom, for those of you who don't know, she's been diagnosed with breast cancer. It'll be 5 years this March here, and she had been talking to another family member about how they wanted to see this other person, and, talked about, like, I've reached out to this person over the last 2 years, and, like, I still want to see them. I still want to get together with them. And this other person was like, well, they have kids and they're so busy. And I'm like, fuck that shit. If this person actually wanted to see mom, my mom here, fuck that. No, they would have texted her back, called her, got on the calendar, treated her like a VI frickin' P, and they wouldn't have you here saying that, well, they have kids, they're busy. Being a parent is not an excuse to not be a good friend here. And a lot of parents will actually lose their friendships because their kids go off to school, college then, and they leave high school and they're empty nesters and whatever. And then they come back around to their old friends here specifically, or they don't actually connect with their friends specifically who aren't being friendships or who aren't being parents. So then those friendships naturally die off in relationships, y'all. And so this is something where I'm like, you can never buy that excuse of they're so busy just because they have kids. Okay. Mom's busy. She's busy. This person's busy. She's got cancer, she's got doctoring, she's got whatever, but she still wants to see that person. Really? No. So I don't buy that biscuit. So never buy that biscuit. If somebody loves you that much and cares about you that much, they will make you a priority. And there's such a big excuse when we say, oh my gosh, I've been so busy. No. Have you been busy like scrolling and just mindlessly like not living life and you're existing? Or have you been productive and things have really been packed in the schedule? That's different here, okay? And even if things are productive and packed in a schedule, if a person actually wants to see you, they will reach out to you, they will follow up to you, they will get you on the calendar, they will text you back, okay? So you can't use these excuses here. Other people are busy, parents are busy, sure, business owners are busy, sure, CEOs of companies are busy, sure, celebrities are busy, sure, but I'm pretty sure those damn Real Housewives up on Bravo can text bitches back because I see it because they do it. Y'all, really? No. Bullshit. No. So this is something where a lot of times we seek friendships with people who don't even realize maybe what they lost in a friendship. If that person then decides like, you haven't texted me, you haven't reached out to me, kids or no kids, CEO, no CEO, celebrity, no celebrity, right? I'm done. And that's okay too, because then it just shows you've worked on the relationship with yourself so goddamn much that you are not a drive-through energy where friends think they can just come and go whenever they want to, get their golden, nuggets from you and then completely leave. That's not the case, okay? And so this is something where a lot of people out of obligation, unfortunately, because they've maybe had friendships for years and years and years and years of their life, maybe childhood friendships, high school friendships, college friendships even too. They're like, I feel like I have to stay friends with them, or like we've been friends forever, so that's what we gotta like keep up to here, when maybe like those friendships naturally run its course, or it's the end of the road or the end of the timeline, or it's a dead end here overall. And this is something where real friends would show up for you in life. Fake friends would just come through to you whenever they want something from you, right? Or whenever they just think they can come in on your schedule. And this is something where if these friendships wouldn't actually commit to you, then you need to commit to you and realize, where are my friendships, at this point in time? And especially if they are inactive in your life here. And one of the biggest things that I think is so interesting when a lot of people are like, in a lot of friendships and they're like, oh my God, you're my bestie. And then like they cling on to somebody maybe after from 1 time, 2 times, 3 times hanging out with them. It's like, whoa, chill. Why we got to label this here? And what kind of trauma did you have to latch onto me to say, I'm your bestie here specifically? It's a trauma response that people don't realize, that they want to bond to you because they want something so bad and someone to love them so bad. So we seek love and friendship so bad that we're like, be my bestie, be my best friend, be this, ride or die, whatever. And then we feel like we have to label things even if they are not that deep of friendships. And so there's just a lot of things to really be aware of when it comes to friendships, specifically in that. And this is why, like, you can rebirth your relationships, but you also have to rebirth the relationship with yourself and the friendship with yourself. Sometimes when you test yourself in some ways of saying, okay, I really want to make sure I prioritize the relationship with me. So I don't always want to be, that person in a one-way friendship or relationship that I'm always calling them, I'm texting them, I'm reaching out to them, I'm asking them how they are when they aren't maybe doing that for you. It's okay to be able to be like, all right, stop, we're not doing this anymore, and I'm going to pour back into the relationship with me. And I'm not going to wait around for this person to text me back, see if they want to go on this trip, see if they want to hang out, if they want to go to that movie, if they want to go to a walk, if they want a phone call, if they want to FaceTime, if they want to, go to this book club, if they want to go to the gym, if they want to do some things, right? Whatever your similar interests are, it's like, no, you have to be your best friend in order to really understand what it is that you admire and value in the friendship and relationship with yourself, to then teach people how to treat you and how they show up with you, Shameless Squad. And so this is something where, for me personally, I had noticed, like, in the past couple years, I'm not even kidding you, y'all, when a lot of my friends became parents, I have not talked to them since. And that's the thing where I'm like, energetically speaking, I'm not going to give to those friendships when I haven't seen you in years. And me, I was the friend growing up where I was your stereotypical therapist who wanted to help other people with their problems so I didn't have to talk about myself. But your girl was called out on that one in grad school, and bitch had to go to therapy, okay? Shockers, therapists are human too. Don't like talking about themselves either, but anywho, boo. One thing that I had noticed with me is I had to really set some boundaries and really rebirth the relationship with myself over the years and teach people how to treat me, teach people how they can talk to me, teach people how they can communicate with me, teach people, how if you aren't in my life and you only come and go every so often, like, I don't really need that person as a friend here, okay? And over the years, a lot of people, think, oh my God, my relationships, my friendships are growing smaller and smaller, and they get scared and nervous with that. But it's like, you are never alone. This is the spiritual side of me. You're never alone. You always have your angels, your ancestors, your guides, your spiritual teams. You are literally, you could go anywhere out in society and like meet friends, make friends, talk to people. Just people want to discuss. We have that human connection, right? But I had to really set this boundary because I was this kid growing up, who my problem was I'd care too much about my friends. And I didn't care enough about myself. And that put me in situations where I set myself up to get hurt more. And I'll explain this. I would be the kid who'd be like, oh my gosh, how'd your math problem nice, your math test go? Oh my gosh, how did that paper go in school? Or like, oh my gosh, like, how was your basketball game last night? Whatever. And I would just always want to listen to people and just hold space for them and just kind of see how they were all doing. But then when I really thought about it, it depended on the person and the friendship. I didn't have as many people do that for me as much. But then I also didn't like how I showed up in relationships if I was being mean or rude or sassy or bossy to friends, looking back at it, right? And so that's me also not being perfect in relationships either. And so it's like, why would people want to check in on you if you're bossing them around, if you're being mean to them, Jackie, right? Like, what kind of friend are you being? So then I had to really change that and not do certain things anymore, whatever, right? Or treat people in just a negative way. That's basically what it comes down to. I am not perfect. Will I ever be? Hell no. Do we all have our issues? Hell yeah. And as long as you're working through things in order to be better for yourself and others, that's all that really matters at the end of the day. And so then I realized and noticed that I cared so much, but then I would get mad and then I would subconsciously say things or do things that would hurt people or be mean to them. And I didn't realize that in the moment as a child, right? Because your brain's not fully developed. And you don't know what the F you're doing sometimes. And right, it's one of those things that you see later in life. You're like, damn. But you have to forgive yourself. You have to practice self-compassion for yourself. And you have to give yourself grace, as well as others too. And you also have to grieve the loss of friendships and relationships. But one of the biggest things and tests that I really had to give to myself was really to not always be the friend that texted first, not always be the friend that calls first, not always be the friend that invites first. Because people had jokingly said in my life, oh yeah, we'll see you all in next year, because I was the person that actually reached out to friends here and they weren't even reaching out to me. And so that's the thing where I had to really cut that off from people, because even when I was reaching out to people and even when I had been going through my 1-year business anniversary, a big life cycle transition move, and just so many things, there were so many things happening, trying to find a place to live because I didn't know at that point in time in my life, I was still giving time to my schedule or on my schedule to people who couldn't even text me back. 3 weeks later, right? So then it showed me no more. You need to, after this point in time with certain relationships and people, and this was different with different people, stop being the person to reach out first. And stop giving so much to people who are not going to give you back these things. They aren't. And one of the things I learned about that is, I have been in people's weddings, 4 times. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4 would have been 5, but yeah. If you saw the other video, you know. But and I realized I'm never gonna get married, right? I don't really care to. I don't care to get married. So why should I have to give so much energetically to these people in the future after their weddings if they wouldn't even give to me by not being married, by not wanting children, by having a business but not supporting it, not even asking me about my mother's breast cancer journey, not even reaching out to me. You really learn who your friends are through different developmental points in your life here. And when you are the non-traditional woman, me, who's grown up with a lot of traditional shame and complex trauma, Polish culture, community, if you know, you know, a girl fights against that shit, and a girl doesn't care about all the traditions and that shit, right? Like, why do we have to label things? Why do we need to have these certain things when it's like, that shit doesn't make you happy? A lot of people have it backwards where they think, when I'm married, I'll be happy. When I'm in a relationship, I'll be happy. When I have a kid, I'll be happy. I'm going to have a kid to make me happy. When I have a dog, I'm going to be happy. When I have a house, I'm going to be happy. When you have to make you happy, it's bullshit. You have to make yourself happy every single day, or at least try to. And so many people think, when I have this tangible thing, item, stuff, then I'll be happy. No. And you're not going to get closer to those things unless you work on the relationship with yourself in order to be happy, in order to open up, to receive, to all those other things. Some people get it. Yes, they do. Like, trust me, I get it. Some people do not have a healthy relationship with themselves and they still get those things. But that's when those patterns with that relationship with themselves, unfortunately, is going to play out in a lot of different ways that are not going to be healthy with their friends, their family members, their loved ones, their children here. Okay, so watch the other videos if you didn't so far at this point. But this is something where, you know, sometimes it's okay to say, I love this person and I'm going to leave this person. I love this person and I love myself more. I love this person and I'm loving the person I'm turning into. But the whole point of me saying that is like, you know, I'm not getting married. I'm not going to have wedding showers. I'm not going to have like a bridal shower, a couple's shower, an engagement party, a travel bachelorette. It's so fucking much nowadays, y'all. So stupid in my opinion. And if you don't like it, you can go make your own YouTube channel and do your own video on that. But it's just too much, because why would I put so much money into, like, that's the thing, weddings and these people who I may never see again, and when the divorce rate is 50-50, 60-40, I think was the latest one, and the marriage rates are actually going down now, y'all. So that's the thing where I'm like, I realized I'm giving so much of my time, my energy, my money, my love, my effort to people who will never give this to me in return, ever. Same with housewarming parties, same with baby shower gifts. And I said, you know, I'm at this point in my life where I don't have to do this anymore. And for those of you that don't know, like, I have a big, I call it my big fat Polish family, big fat Greek wedding, if you know, you know, where my mom is the only sister on that side of the family. So she was the one that was throwing all these like baby showers and bridal showers and parties, and I hated having to help. I hated it. And she would always, you know, be very generous, and you know, everyone would be appreciative, and the aunts would chip in and do all these things, but like all that stuff, like I would be going shopping with her to, you know, dice game gifts. I would be going to separate stores to pick up things with her. I would be cleaning. I would be setting up for her. I would be tearing down for her. I would be doing things for her and these women who were having baby showers and bridal showers and all these things. And I was just like, I just hate this stuff. It's not even about what marriage is about or what a baby is about. It's not even about the love. It's about the stuff, and we have it so backwards. And it's about that emotional intimacy and connection. And that's my point when I say people won't be there for me in those things in my life, because I don't have those things. I don't want those things. But that's the thing, where they aren't going to be able to give to me if they don't have access to me anymore. If I've closed the chapter on that book, if they haven't even checked in on me, you know, or wanted to be my friend or see me or whatever, when I've like scaled back my energies, right? And it's not my job to be in a one-way relationship or friendship with these people, you know? And granted, like if they got married, great. If you had kids, great. And if you can't like or won't like text somebody because you have a kiddo or a child, don't expect your friends to show up for you 18 years later when they probably, you know, grieved the loss of you 17 years ago, right? So Shameless Squad, that's something where people about me haven't realized how much that I have really given and given and given and given and given and given to these different types of parties and things in life, when really when you think of a baby shower, I think of like, oh my gosh, like not about the stuff or the things or whatever. I think about what makes you excited about being a parent here. What are the values you want to instill in your children? What are the things that you emotionally didn't get that you want your child to have, right? Not money, not the stuff, right? And in a marriage, it's, for me, my favorite part of a wedding is the vows. It's the vows. And when they're written, they're original. When it's Corinthians 13:13 or whatever it is, 3:13, this is so unoriginal, so stereotypical, so basic white girl shit when it comes to a fucking wedding. Anyway, no shame if that's you, but for me, not me, you do you, boo. But it's just like, so déclassé, like, why is it that you're marrying that person? Why is it that you love that person? But people make it all about the stuff. And how often do you hear about weddings when it's just about the love? How often do you hear about a baby coming into this world when it's about the love, right? And how often do you hear about people talking about a house when it's about the love of taking care of that home and nurturing it? How much do you hear about the love when it comes to a pet, right? You don't. And so we get it so twisted in our friendships, in our relationships, in our people. And when you're in unhealthy friendships and relationships, sometimes some of them will use you for money. Sometimes some of them will be like, and Paia, my girl, if you're watching this, she said it best. So I'm quoting her here, y'all. She said, I'm done funding people's lives when it comes to them getting married or having kids or doing these things here. And that just stood out to me so much, because I'm like, it's so true. Like, why do people need to have weddings in order to make money for their life here, or order to have that for baby showers, bridal showers, whatever, y'all? Why? And for me, I'm like, I don't get that stuff, so why should I have to give that stuff anymore? I've been generous enough. Do I receive that at all from these past friends in my business? Like booking a service, sharing my stuff, sending me a client for coaching, doing something? No. So why would I be friends with people who don't support the life path that I'm down, even though I've supported and funded part of their life path that they're down? And I don't say that with the fact of like, I funded all their life, blah, blah, blah. No, like, I have contributed, there's a lot there. And so it's just one of those things when you learn about friendships, sometimes people stay in friendships for too long, in relationships for too long. And when you realize, holy crap, like, who and why was I friends with this person? When you realize they aren't even showing up for me here, I'm done, Like, why, Especially if you're that person who genuinely cares about people and you want to help them and you show up for them and you're there for their big life moments, but they don't even ask you about yours, or they don't even want to check in, right? And when you're the person who, like me, has been the person that my problem is I care too much, it's hard to release that and let go of that. And that's something I've had to learn in the past couple of years in order to really love myself, in order to date myself, in order to reparent myself, in order to work with mentors for myself, in order to really take care of myself here. And have I not done, all this different types of spiritual, mental, emotional, psychological, financial, physical, just holistic health, all the work on myself, sexual health on myself, just all the things, I probably would not have shown up as a great therapist, coach, consultant, provider, just helper, whatever the fuck you want to label me here, right? For people I worked with, I probably would not have at all. And it's super interesting to really think about. So, Shameless Squad, just be mindful of your friendships. Be mindful of what friendships are a two-way street, what friendships are a one-way street, what friendships do and don't check in on you, what friendships need to be cut off, boo, and what friendships you really want to pour into, and how can you be your best friend. Date yourself, show up for yourself, pour a little bit more love into your cup, move forward with that, right? And not give up, the gift of time that you've given for yourself, be it on a date or whatever it is, to just spend time with yourself when a friend comes in or when a friend calls or whatever. You need to pour back into you too. So I hope this was a helpful YouTube video today, just talking about being your own best friend in the relationship with yourself here specifically, y'all. I know it's hard to really do. I know it's hard to let go of people. And, some people drop the ball on you and some people fumble you, and they might regret it one day, boo, when they realize I don't have that person. anymore. And I've had to tell certain friends and people, I deserve better than this. I deserve so much better than this. And so one of the biggest things that I also want to say, being someone who's child-free by choice, is to any of you that are parents out there, check in on your friends who don't have, children, a spouse, a partner, doing life on their own, or just any of those things, who aren't living their life in this traditional way that society says that we should, right? Like, check in on those people too. They're doing life by themselves, solo, and they also maybe don't want some of those things, and they chose that, and also you chose those things too. And it's important to also choose who your friends are and who you want to keep around you, despite maybe having all these different extra responsibilities and things. And also understand that friendships also need everyone to show up for them as well. So Shameless Squad, talking out loud, all the things, life lessons, talks, everything like that. Talk, right? But make sure to smash the like button, turn the notification bell on, hit subscribe, drop me a heart in the comments below. This was really hard for me to share with all these videos that I'm putting out there, being very, very vulnerable. It's tough to let go of people, but it's also tougher to hurt yourself by hanging on to people who are not meant to be with you or your life anymore. And that's okay. You send them well wishes at the end of the day. And just, I send all these people who aren't in my life, like, the well wishes, all the best. Absolutely. And definitely let me know what resonates with you in the comments below too. And if you've ever experienced things like this as well, and especially if you found value in this, please share this with a friend or someone who needs to hear this too. Please help the channel grow. It is completely free to you, and it helps me out a lot on YouTube here with the algorithm. And as a content creator, please just support me in any way, shape, or form you can. Thank you for all your likes, subscribes, donations. I appreciate you and I love you. As always, stay tuned for more and stay shameless.